Hey guys, welcome back to Dr. Narration, the best channel for cheating stories. Like and subscribe to the channel for more cheating stories like these.
My story of ex-wife cheating on me after 26 years. Please accept my apologies for the length of this. I was too wounded to write here before, but after reading Chump Lady's book, thank you. I'm glad I did. I've been commenting on a few blogs, and it's been beneficial. I'm not searching for advice since I've finally moved on. I just wanted to share in case it helps. I'm hoping this helps me as well. I made a number of blunders, such as the choose me dance, since I misinterpreted her behaviors. I'm going to explain it from my point of view, as I discovered it, and then I'll go back and fill in what she did before I knew, based on her admission and my search of her digital trail. Please read at your own risk since some of material is really private, nasty, and so on. All I need to do is let it all out. I was on this post on Reddit very early on, but I wanted reconciliation, and this is more pro-divorce. As a result, I couldn't read the discussions. It was too painful. I wish I had read the discussions and done the 180 and so on. I couldn't then, which is okay since you can only do so much. I, male 44, relocated to a different state before finishing my final year of high school. My wife, female 44, and I met a few weeks after school began. She was my first girlfriend and continues to be my sole kiss partner / relationship, etc. I was in love after a few months. I wasn't concerned since it took her longer to fall in love. We dated for 8 years, but knew we'd married in 2 or 3 years. We met when we were 17, therefore we wanted to marry when we were older and more mature. We had been married for 18 years and had been together for nearly 26 years. We had a thriving company and were able to relocate across the nation since it was situated at home. My wife assisted me, although she was mostly supported by my earnings. I didn't mind since I was trained to believe that the male should be the breadwinner. We had the typical ups and downs. Her mother was diagnosed with cancer in 2015 and died the following year. Her father passes away 9 months later. Our company collapsed in late 2019, and we declared bankruptcy in early 2020. I was depressed for a long time since I had been in IC. My marriage was the one thing I believed was excellent in my life. But since our company was struggling, my wife took a job to aid us. It was in a big box shop. She was promoted to manager. Over the course of a few years, I gained 100 pounds. So now I'm overweight, have lost my business, and at rock bottom in my life. Because of my asthma and concern, I was essentially a shut-in when COVID ramped up and the lockdowns began. My wife helped me get through it all. She began working late, and on her days off, she would go to Target and spend a lot of money, which during lockdowns should have been a red flag. She woke me up at 6 a.m. one Sunday morning and said she was going to the park to walk her legs because they were restless. It was strange, but owing to RLS, I would sometimes walk on our treadmill in the middle of the night. So it's not a huge issue. She comes home, we have breakfast, she showers, and so forth. Then when I'm working on my computer in the office, she comes in nude, turns around and shows me her whole body before heading to the bedroom. I adhere to, as we had a very active life. She wants me to gratify her orally, but I smell something strange, so I don't. I go out of the room, believing it was from her stroll in the park. Her infidelity on me was so distant from my mind at this time that I wasn't concerned. But something is brewing in my mind. I checked her surfing history the following day, and she was on the Facebook page of 2 males I know don't work at her shop. I'm worried because she doesn't have any male pals who aren't coworkers. Another day passes, and my thoughts remain unanswered. My D-Day was set for July 22nd, 2020, at 3 a.m. when I wake up. I believe I should go get her phone and look at it. I lay in bed for a long pondering if I should even get out of bed, since I was exhausted. I finally take her phone, unsure of what to search for. Almost immediately, I see she has Snapchat, which I had no idea she possessed. She has 3 male buddies, 2 on Facebook and 1 she works with. She never confesses to anything with the man from work, but I don't trust her. She comes to and asks whether I'm all right. When I question whether she is cheating on me, she replies she isn't. We communicate for a few hours, and I discover that I can download her Snapchat history, so I lock myself in a bedroom and do so. She begs me not to since it's awful, and she confesses to cheating on me. Boom. My whole life has been shattered, and the sorrow can only be comprehended by those of us who have been deceived. I believe she abandoned me when I needed her the most. She disputes it, but the facts are the facts. She screams in my face that she supports us, but I assume she forgot about the first 16 years of our marriage when she didn't have to work and could buy whenever she wanted. Oh, she's suddenly saying she's not materialistic. Again, I'm surprised since she enjoys shopping. You know how they say they cheat their way down. These two are both broke losers. One even took money from my wife, but more on that later, and the other lives in a horrible trailer owned by relatives since his credit is so bad he can't rent on his own and has over 10 DUI. I messaged both of them on Facebook, telling them they were jerks and informed them about the other person. Funny how they were upset she was cheating on me with more than just them. One never responds, and the one who took the money now wants to sue me. Later, I discover that he is fascinated with fighting me and often tells my wife that he wants to fight. She gradually confesses to things. However, it's a stream of truths. When I inquire about protection, she responds, of course, that's what people do today. She makes it seem as though she didn't do anything, that it wasn't anything extraordinary, that it was simply, but nothing like with me. On D-Day, I requested her to contact each person and tell them it's over. My husband knows, and it takes her 7 hours to send the messages, while I urge her to send them. I then ask her 8 questions regarding what they did. She only confesses to 2 of them. We're checked for STD, and thankfully, we don't have any. I remember she asked me to pleasure her a few weeks before I found out, and I saw something down there. I make a face, and she gets up and dashes to the restroom, claiming there was a discharge. I'm not worried, but I'm grossed out. Fortunately, I was able to quit, but the abuse of asking me to do so after having with someone else. So I know she'd done this twice already, and since I did this to her a lot, I'm sure I did it after she had and didn't notice. Disgusting. It'd pique her interest. She has such little regard for me that she would ask me for it, knowing full well that I am unaware. Or was it something she discussed with them, as if they all got a kick out of my doing that? Her excuses were, I didn't love her anymore, obviously not true. She never had her wild college years. We didn't make each other happy anymore. News to me, and she never once told me about this. Her siblings were promiscuous. She was addicted to attention. COVID caused it, and many more I can't remember. The following 3 weeks are filled with her apologizing and stating she never intended to leave me. She claims she didn't think about it and just did it. That's dumb because she didn't consider hurting our marriage or destroying me. Instead, she simply banged both of the men. One of the men was interested in her marriage. I think your spouse is cheating on you, he said. My spouse would never cheat on me, she responds. It's ironic, but I now realize it's narcissism. When he wonders what your spouse would do if he found out, she responds he would kill himself. When she tells me this, I'm enraged. She then clarifies that it was a joke. That is not better. In fact, it is most likely worse. She's making a joke about my suicide with a man she's dating. My spouse, she claims, will never divorce me. After 2 weeks, I decide to commit suicide. I have been suicidal the past several years due to my depression. I was in IC for this. I make a note, snap a photo, and SMS it to her. She summons the police, who apprehend me, arrest me, and transport me to the hospital. I'm free now. I'm going to try to murder myself a lot during the next several months. I look up how to do it on the internet. I constantly have to stop myself. I'm pleased I did it now. There is more to life than this. It turns out she didn't break up with any of them. Fortunately, one of them says good luck, and as far as I know, they have no contact. She is always in touch with the other man because she lent him money and wants a return. Let the money go. In my opinion, she claims she is unable to. I believe it is more than just money. She denies it. She has no idea, but I have her Facebook login, and am reading her communications to the money man. He bans her, but she recalls having his phone number and messages him from work. They squabble until he offers to her again, and she replies maybe. I find out about this when she brags to a buddy on Facebook Messenger, and I read it. I ask her right afterwards whether she wants him again, and she replies no. I tell her I saw her phone, so she doesn't know I have her Facebook password, and she agrees. I make a hole in the bedroom door. She has given him till Friday to repay her. Finally, after 6 weeks, he declares that he will not repay her. She snapped out of her trance. She claims to be liberated. Looking back, I should have gone at this point, probably on D-Day, but when your world crumbles out of nowhere, it's difficult to simply quit. We'll be fighting a lot during the next 8 months. I keep discovering more proof and can't seem to quit searching. She will only confess to what I continue to prove. She says all the right things, but I can't accept what she does, even though I know deep down that I can't live without her. We begin MC. I tell the therapist that we've been together for 26 years, and she tells me afterwards that she was irritated because I stated it so proudly. I just shook my head. I can't take MC because we need to discuss what she did, the physical things. MC comes to a halt. Stay tuned for the next part.